Our first question is, what were the arguments for both sides of the Webster-Hayne debate in 1830? Basically, the debate was over a plan to limit or impose restrictions on Western land sales. Senators from Western states saw this as a move to preserve Northeastern manufacturing interests and their cheap labor source, which would otherwise move west in search of new property and a better life. The South saw this as an opportunity to ally themselves with the Western states against the Northeast. Two senators led this debate. The first one was Robert Hayne from South Carolina, and the other was Daniel Webster from Massachusetts. Senator Robert Hayne saw the Northwest dispute as a way to cement an alliance between the South and the West. He thought that an agricultural system based on slavery could only survive if there was an unlimited supply of cheap Western lands. He argued that the states, not the federal government, should control their lands and that the states should have the right to set aside certain federal laws. Daniel Webster challenged the South's motivations, pointing out their willingness to subvert the Union for economic gain. He broadened the debate beyond land, tariffs, and slavery to a consideration of the nature of the federal republic, maintained that the North and West had always been allies, and compared states' rights versus federal rights. Hayne argued again that the states had the right to openly defy acts of Congress, but Webster countered in his so-called second reply to Hayne that the nation was not a mere association of sovereign states, but a popular government erected by the people in which the government officials are responsible to the people, and the government can be amended and modified to suit the needs of the people as the people choose. In the end, this stopped the land sales resolution, also eliminating the chance for a South and West political alliance. This reiterated Jackson's ideal that government is created by and for the common man. That is, not about the states and states' rights. It is more about people and their rights. This also emphasized sectional lines and tensions, alienating the South, maintaining the North and West alliance, and showing ideological differences and political divisions between regions. The tensions created and maintained between the North and the South would escalate in the coming years and lead to the Civil War.
Our second question is, how did the Nullies almost start the Civil War in 1832? Some main ideas are the Tariff of 1832, Henry Clay's Compromise, the Force Bill, and the states most likely to secede.
In response to the Tariff of 1828, Nullies, or supporters of nullification in the South Carolina legislature, tried to collect the necessary two-thirds vote for nullification, but were blocked by a determined minority of Unionists. Congress then passed the Tariff of 1832, which was protective and fell far short of meeting Southern demands. Then came the state election of 1832, from which the Nullies emerged with more than a two-thirds majority. The state legislature then called for the delegates to meet in Columbia at a special convention, and they soon declared the tariff to be null and void in South Carolina. This convention also threatened to take South Carolina out of the Union if Jackson attempted to collect the custom duties by force. While Andrew Jackson was not a supporter of the tariff, he did not permit disunion, so he threatened to invade the states and have the nullifiers hang. So along comes Henry Clay, a senator hailing from Kentucky, who supported the tariff but did not like Jackson. He proposed a compromise bill that would gradually reduce the tariff of 1832 by about 10% over an 8-year span. The compromise bill, the tariff of 1833, passed through Congress with many debates, with opposition from New England and Middle states, but the South favored this compromise.
This support from the South did not last long, as the Force Bill, or the Bloody Bill, as it was known to the citizens of South Carolina, was passed. It authorized the president to use the Army and Navy if necessary to collect federal duties. The Unionists in South Carolina, pleased with this bill, organized weapons and militia. In response, South Carolina repealed the nullification of the tariff in 1832, but nullified the Force Bill. Hostilities between the Nullies and the Unionists almost starts a civil war with South Carolina. At this point, the states most likely to secede from the Union are South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. South Carolina threatened to secede multiple times in response to Congress's actions. Georgia and Virginia somewhat supported South Carolina in its opposition to the force bill, but never followed through. In the end, Jackson continued his policy of ignoring states' rights and the states' rights to nullify bills passed by Congress. The conflict between the Nullies and the Unionists, as well as the South and the North, led to pronounced sectional divisions. These tensions between regions continued to grow up until the Civil War. The compromise proposed by Clay was a mere palliative measure. It put off violent conflict but never resolved sectional tensions and conflicts.